briefly. Since January 8th, because of a bout with COVID-19, he has missed the last 5 games. Clippers stars Kawhi Leonard and Paul George have been ruled out for Tuesday's game against the Hawks due to the NBA's health and safety protocols. Patrick Beverley is also expected to miss the game with right knee soreness. And in college basketball, Texas head coach Shaka Smart announced today that he tested positive for COVID-19. He is currently in isolation. The 5th-ranked Longhorns are scheduled to face Oklahoma on Tuesday and then travel to Kentucky on Saturday. Hi, everybody. Great to be alongside you again, Kevin. And after a long and crazy NFL season, of course, due to COVID-19, which still continues to wreak havoc on the sports world, the NFL actually has a dream Super Bowl matchup.
We're in a business where myth-making can overstate things. I'm not doing that here. We'll have the greatest quarterback ever squaring off against the greatest current quarterback in the world. And sign me up for Super Bowl 55. Here are the storylines to watch coming off Championship Sunday. Chiefs starting left tackle Eric Fisher will not play in the Super Bowl after tearing his Achilles in yesterday's win over the Bills. KC will now play without both of their starting tackles who opened up the season. Right tackle Mitchell Schwartz has been out since week 6 with a back injury. The status of Antonio Brown remains unclear. The Bucs wide receiver missed yesterday's win over the Packers with a knee injury he suffered against the Saints last weekend. Big questions here for the Bucs and their secondary with their safeties, Jordan Whitehead and Antoine Winfield Jr. Whitehead forced 2 fumbles against the Packers before being forced to leave the game with a shoulder injury. Bruce Arians saying today it's too early to define his status for the Super Bowl. Remember, we're 13 days away. Winfield was inactive yesterday due to an ankle injury. Of course, he tested it before the game, but then he was ruled out. Let's bring in Adam Schefter with the very latest here. Adam, the Fisher injury at left tackle, this is significant. He's protecting Mahomes' blind side. So how do the Chiefs plan to navigate through this as we are 13 days away from Super Bowl 55?
What makes this doubly hard, Kevin, is that not only are they going to be without Eric Fisher in Super Bowl 55, but the chances are they're going to be without their right tackle, Mitchell Schwartz, as well. So if you took the top 2 tackles off any team and asked them to try to go slow down Jason Pierre-Paul and Shaq Barrett, that would be a huge challenge. Now, Andy Reid knows how to adjust the game plan, and he believes he's got some young offensive linemen on the roster that are capable of stepping in and stepping up. But there's no way you could lose Eric Fisher to a ruptured Achilles, be without Mitchell Schwartz, one of the most underrated offensive linemen in the game today, and think that your offensive line and offense will function at the same level. There's a look at potentially the Chiefs' offensive line in Super Bowl 55. Who would have thought that Andrew Wiley would have such a significant role? Mike Remmers could be stepping in at left tackle. Again, how many of those guys right there are household names? Not many. It's a challenge the Chiefs will have to face against the Buccaneers.
And keep in mind, too, that Packers offensive line, they could not handle the front for that defensive line for Tampa. That played a huge role as that offense was stunted a few times on drives. Adam's going to be back later in the show. Adam, thank you so much. Now let's get to the quarterback conversation, right? The old guard against the new guard in Super Bowl 55, and Tom Brady will become the 4th quarterback to start a Super Bowl for 2 different franchises, as well as join Johnny Unitas and Norm Van Brocklin in playing for an NFL title in 3 different decades. Meanwhile, Patrick Mahomes will become the first quarterback ever to start multiple Super Bowls before turning 26 years young. His resume already includes a ring, a Super Bowl MVP, and a league MVP. And Mahomes got here by improving to 4-1 in his postseason career when trailing by multiple scores. The only player with more such wins, yeah, you guessed it, Tom Brady. We got it all in a game like this. Brady and Mahomes, they've met 4 times, and those meetings have been close. Their teams have split the matchups, with each winning 2. Mahomes has arguably outplayed Brady in these meetings overall, leading by a healthy margin in QBR, touchdown to INT ratio, and yards per attempt. But it's Brady who won the only postseason matchup, helped by a brutal Chiefs penalty on defense. Getting ready for the big showdown. Where? Tampa. You got it.
You can see where Tom's leadership on the offensive side is showing. He's playing at an extremely high level, and for somebody his age, it's unbelievable. I mean, it's unbelievable for a 25-year-old to be doing what he's doing, let alone a 43 old.
I'd get to go up against Tom and all the success that he's had. I mean, it's going to be a special moment. I'm excited for the opportunity to go up against the GOAT, and so it's going to be a great moment for all of us, and we're excited for the opportunity.
Young GOAT talking about the old GOAT right there. Head on PTI's bonus topic. Tony and Mike assess which accomplishment is more impressive. Tom Brady reaching his 10th Super Bowl or LeBron's 10 NBA Finals appearances. Hannah?
Meanwhile, Kevin, the Packers' Aaron Rodgers, 1-4 now in conference championship games as a starter, and the presumptive MVP did not get back on the field after his coach Matt LaFleur decided to kick a field goal rather than go for it with just over 2 minutes left in an 8-point game. Rodgers in the midst of a $134 million contract extension, but threw his future with the team into question after the loss.
A lot of guys' futures that are, uncertain, myself included. That's what's sad about it most. Getting this far, obviously there's going to be an end to it at some point, whether we make it past this one or not, but I'm going to have to take some time away for sure and clear my head and just kind of see what's going on with everything.
Rodgers just turned 37 years old. He's under contract in Green Bay for the next 3 seasons. Without an adjustment, his cap value is north of $36 million in 2021. That ranks 3rd highest among quarterbacks behind Ben Roethlisberger and Matt Ryan. Much of that will turn into dead money if the Packers trade him between now and the start of the season. For more, we bring in Adam Schefter. And Adam, since winning the Super Bowl 10 years ago, Rodgers has only had 1 top 10 defense. They don't draft skilled position players, except for his replacement, Jordan Love, in the first round. What's the situation there with him in Green Bay?
If you listen to Aaron Rodgers after the NFC Championship game and loss talk to the reporters in Green Bay, he certainly sounded like he was saying goodbye to them and the organization. Now, it's a highly emotional time right after a loss. Let's see what happens when he takes a step back. But clearly there are some issues between Aaron Rodgers and the organization that drafted his replacement last spring that seem to hang over their relationship. It hasn't gone away, even though they had a tremendous season, and many people thought that Aaron Rodgers used that as motivation. Now, do I think the Green Bay Packers want to go out and trade Aaron Rodgers tomorrow? It's hard to imagine that. However, Aaron Rodgers in this new NFL world that's like an NBA world, Hannah, if he wanted, and he wanted to change his scenario, and he wanted to move on, he could actually ask for his trade. He could say, I want to be in California. I have a home 20 minutes from the Rams facility. I want to be in California. Grew up watching the Niners, that team that passed me up in the draft. If he wanted that, and he was dug in enough, he could push for that. But what we don't know is his true feelings, and we don't know how he'll feel as the offseason unfolds. But clearly, there's a lot of things going through a mind that last week he himself said his future is a quote-unquote beautiful mystery.
Well, we're not sure, though, if the Packers would be on board with sending him where he wants. He doesn't have a no-trade clause. Not like he's a free agent like Brady was. But, man, put him in the mix there with Stafford and Deshaun Watson. And who knows? We're going to check back with you on this crazy quarterback carousel in just a few. Thanks.
Thank you, Anna.
To the big story in the NBA, Hannah, so far we have seen Brooklyn's Big Three play a couple of games together. A closer look by the numbers. Kyrie, he's thrived as a scorer, averaging over 32 points per game and over 34 in the 3 games he's played with Harden. Remember, KD sat out a game to rest up that Achilles. Harden, by the way, has stuffed the stat sheet, scoring over 30 in both games to lead the team in scoring. He's also added 16 rebounds, 12 dimes, and 6 blocks. Meanwhile, how about this? James Harden's scoring is down. He's become a facilitator here. Dished out a team-high 23 assists in the 2 games, all averaging fewer than 17 points per contest. For much more on the matchup tonight, Malika Andrews joining us live from Barclays Center as the Nets get ready to host the Heat. Malika, so how is Harden adjusting to playing with KD and Kyrie right now?
Well, it's coming along. The good news for James Harden is what you just mentioned, the facilitating. What leaves some room for improvement potentially is his scoring with this team. His 12 points last game were his fewest points that he has scored in a game in an entire calendar year, Kevin. But after the game, James Harden said, you know what? It feels good that I can go out there and be a passer, be a facilitator, not have to score in high volume, and we still have a chance to win the game. That is what he is focusing on. He has had double-digit assists in every game that he has played in for the Nets thus far. And Steve Nash said that he believes with comfort and getting in a little bit better shape, his scoring is going to increase over time.
Okay, you know and I know offense wasn't going to be a problem here with the big three. They beat the Heat on Saturday, but Brooklyn, how about this? They gave up 124 points. What is the team saying about their defensive play right now?
Well, Steve Nash said that this just isn't built to be a defensive roster. He said that defense is going to be a season-long project for them. He reiterated that before this game. That is a sentiment he has shared with me before. But remember, this is a team that only has one true active center right now in DeAndre Jordan. And DeAndre Jordan said that, you know what? This championship teams aren't built in a day. Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither are we. So this is going to be something that we're chipping away at. What is good news for the Nets is last game they improved significantly in defensive rebounding. They're looking to build on that again against the Heat and maybe slow down Bam from having a career-high 41 points last game.
Bam Adebayo is going to carry this team. No Jimmy Butler, no Avery Bradley, no Tyler Hero, no Myers Leonard.